Once again, reports emerge from inside Beijing. Xi Jinping has suffered another stroke. In Washington, the US government has just dismissed the legacy he tried to build. 4 years before Yu Menglong's death, someone had already written the date of his fall. Now, his mentor is fighting for life. After a sudden and suspicious illness, the circle of fate is tightening, and those who destroyed others to preserve power are beginning to face their own reckoning. Welcome back to Final War with Katherine Hu. Evil does not escape justice, and the truth behind Yu Menglong's death will one day be cleared of every shadow. Tonight, we begin with a breaking development. Reports that Xi Jinping has suffered a sudden stroke and is now under emergency treatment. With the fourth plenary session just 11 days away, this could not have come at a more critical moment. What does it mean for China's leadership? And for those still fighting to keep him in power? In our previous episode, we exposed how Yu Menglong was used as part of a ritual intended to extend Xi's life. Now, growing evidence suggests that the plan was carefully premeditated, and that the mentor Sundar Rong, who kept speaking out for him, may have been targeted with poison. Stay with us until the end and help share this story. Yu Menglong's truth deserves to be known by the world. On October 9th, Du Wen, a former legal advisor to Hu Chunhua, now living in Europe, broke a stunning piece of news on his own channel. An insider from Beijing, he said, had revealed that Xi suffered a sudden stroke that morning and was in critical condition under emergency care. At the same time, Premier Li Qiang, who was visiting North Korea, was reportedly ordered to return to Beijing immediately. Du Wen added that the information came from a single source and had yet to be independently verified. But given its gravity, he decided to make it public while waiting for confirmation. For many watching China's political drama, the timing feels too familiar. Last July, during the third plenary session, Xi collapsed from a stroke inside the meeting hall. The moment that ended his unquestioned status as the one rule. Now, with the fourth plenary session just days away, it happens again. How many times can history repeat itself before it starts to look like fate? If that's the case, there's little left to debate about Xi's position at the upcoming fourth plenary session. His ability to govern, or to set the direction for China and the world, as state media once described it, is now in serious doubt. That means a transition of power becomes not a matter of struggle, but of procedure. For everyone involved, it offers the perfect excuse and the perfect exit. No one needs to fight to the bitter end, and Beijing's image can still be preserved. According to reliable sources inside Beijing, Xi's stroke actually occurred 2 to 3 days earlier, and he has remained in the hospital since then. So the real question now is this: with just over a week before the fourth plenary session begins, what does this timing really mean for China's leadership? According to new information from Beijing's top circle, the party elders have already taken full control of the Central Committee, and they've made their decision. Their goal is simple: to ensure a smooth transition under Wang. Sources say a consensus has been reached among the elders. Wang will serve as the interim general secretary to oversee the handover of power. To prevent any resistance, they've already detained 48 of the 205 Central Committee members and held private meetings with each of the remaining 155. Every conversation had one message: choose a side. The math leaves no doubt. 2 members, likely including Hu Chunhua, didn't even need to be persuaded. That means when the vote takes place, the outcome is already locked in. Insiders also say Xi lost control of the military right after last year's 3rd plenary session. He tried to strike back several times, but every move failed. Before his reported health crisis, discussions within Beijing had already turned to a quiet handover, keeping only the symbolic title of state chairman until next March, when he would formally retire. Meanwhile, political commentator Tsai Shenkun, based in the US, revealed that both inside and outside the system, from senior officials to police and grassroots cadres, people are openly talking about a major shakeup in Zhongnanhai. And whether Xi and Tsai Chi step down will mark the real turning point. Even more telling, Tsai Shenkun disclosed that every high-level party document now requires Wen Jiabao's review and signature. That one line says everything. It makes one fact unmistakably clear. Real authority now lies with the party elders. Wen Jiabao isn't fighting alone. He serves as the frontline figure for a larger structure operating behind him. In other words, it indirectly confirms the existence of Beijing's real center of power, the central party decision-making and coordination body. Given Wen's age and limited energy, it's obvious he cannot personally handle every matter of state, which means that around him, a mature and well-organized administrative apparatus has already taken shape, complete with its own offices and command structure. In practice, Wen Jiabao acts as the chair of this coordination body, while Wang Yang serves as its executive deputy, the man responsible for carrying out decisions. After all, Wang Yang has long been regarded as Wen's chosen successor, carefully cultivated for years to take the premiership. And that explains what we saw on September 3rd during the military parade. Wang Yang's relaxed, confident smile and the respectful, almost deferential gestures of those standing around him. It was a glimpse of who already holds the real power. Just as Beijing's power structure begins to shift, at this very moment, Washington delivered another blow, this time aimed directly at Xi himself. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence has released a report completed in March, titled Wealth and Corruption Activities of the Leadership of the Chinese Communist Party. Its timing could not be more deliberate. The report examines how corruption under Xi Jinping evolved from an anti-graft campaign into what it calls a cyclical purge mechanism, a political tool used to eliminate rivals, consolidate loyalty, and preserve authority. It concludes that the system never aimed to build transparency or accountability, but to protect one man's control. It even details the growing financial network tied to Xi's own family. In plain terms, Washington just dismantled the last pillar of Xi's legitimacy, his so-called anti-corruption legacy. The symbolism is powerful. As Xi's health collapses, the United States releases a report that exposes the decay inside his rule. This is more than coincidence. It looks like timing with intent. Some analysts believe the move signals quiet coordination between Washington and Beijing's elder faction, both aligned, at least for now, in ending Xi's rule and preventing chaos inside China. Because once his anti-corruption campaign is stripped of moral ground, what remains is a trail of political purges, economic failure, and isolation. Without his great achievements, all that's left for Xi Jinping is the exit. As the political storm in Beijing deepens, new evidence continues to surface around the death of Yu Menglong, and the pattern looks more deliberate than ever. In our previous episode, we laid out the entire chain of evidence showing how Yu Menglong was used in a ritual designed to extend Xi's life, a process that followed a precise symbolic pattern. Their overlapping birthdays, the September 3rd military parade, blood moon, Yu's sudden action to fast and purify himself, and the series of dark and elaborate ceremonies that took place on the day of his death. Even the eerie phrase, "good to eat," uttered by those involved, and the so-called rising dragon fireworks display over the Himalayas, all appeared to be part of the same ritual sequence. Until the end, Xi still believed he could reverse his political fate at the 4th plenary session in late October. It was, from start to finish, a single calculated ritual of sacrifice. While we don't yet have every piece of evidence, the information emerging from multiple sources forms a picture that's hard to refute. Taken together, it points to one conclusion. Yu Menglong's death was part of a premeditated ritual designed for Xi's benefit. Now, even stronger evidence has emerged. One online user discovered a post dated September 11th, 2021, exactly 4 years before Yu Menglong's death. It read, "4 years from today, Menglong will ascend, then you'll understand." The timing was too precise to ignore. It suggested that his death had been planned long in advance, and that even the date had been carefully calculated. Others noticed that the numbers themselves carry symbolic meaning. He died at 37. 3 plus 7 equals 10, the number of completion. And he died on September 10th, a day of ritual tribute. Weeks before his death, on July 24th, someone commented under Yu's brand endorsement post, "Yu Menglong already has one foot in the grave." Then, hours before the tragedy, a mysterious account posted a short video that said, "The last time was terrifying. You never realized it was the last. No goodbye, no warning. Just regret left behind." The post vanished within minutes. Only screenshots remain. These fragments, when pieced together, form a timeline too precise to ignore. Yu's death wasn't random. It was organized, rehearsed, and foretold. In one leaked clip, Yu himself confessed that he had been threatened since the age of 25. For 12 years, he lived under control, constantly monitored, humiliated, and trapped. He once joined a secret online group, only to realize too late that he was the target of its conspiracy. And yet, he still smiled for his fans, still showed up for every show, every shoot. It takes a strength few could ever understand. Even the apartment where Yu Menglong fell wasn't random. It belonged to a man known in the industry by the pen name Aurora Light, Ji Guangguang in Chinese, real name Li Ming, a screenwriter with ties to China's most powerful families. Li Ming's father is Li Xiaoyong, son of former Premier Li Peng. His mother, Xie Xiaoyan, is the granddaughter of General Xi Jinping, a name written into the founding mythology of the party itself. And this year, just days before Yu's death, Li Ming released a new television drama titled Shadow Love. He was its lead writer. The series was adapted from a romantic novel, but Li added one scene that never existed in the original story. A scene where the emperor sacrifices his own crown prince to escape fate and gain immortality. The timing was almost cruel. The series premiered on August 24th, barely 2 weeks before Yu's death. And the Chinese title Yu Jinchang'an literally translates as delivering Yu to the throne. For those who noticed, the message was clear. It was less a coincidence than a confession. The same pattern appeared years earlier. When another mysterious death of Qiao Renliang took place, another series followed, Princess Agents, whose Chinese title sounded like The Story of Eliminating Qiao. Reports even claim that Lin Gengxin, who played the second male lead in the series, was present at the scene and may have been involved. It's the same cycle of arrogance, turning murder into mythology and crime into art. They no longer fear being exposed. They're broadcasting their power. Yu Menglong's mentor, the veteran Taiwanese Sun Derong, had never stopped speaking for him. Since Yu's death, he'd posted repeatedly on social media, demanding truth and justice. On September 28th, Sun wrote that Yu appeared to him in a dream that lasted 5 hours, describing in detail how he died, how helpless he felt, and even warning him that company finances weren't clean. Sun said Yu looked the same as always, gentle, polite, but his face was filled with grief. And what he worried most was his mother. The next day, September 29th, Sun Derong held a ceremony in Taiwan to pray for Yu's spirit and called publicly for justice. He showed reporters a voice message Yu had sent before his death, in which Yu affectionately called him Dad. But just a week later, on October 6th, Sun Derong himself was rushed to the hospital. He said that whatever he ate or drank, he vomited, and the pain was so severe he rolled on the floor in agony. Doctors confirmed he was in critical condition. The timing was chilling. Soon after, a short clip surfaced on Douyin, a death countdown that marked October 25th as his final day. It was like a warning from the same people Yu had once feared. Many now believe Sun Derong was targeted because he refused to stay silent. And the method, poisoning, fits a pattern seen too many times before. For years, those who spoke out from abroad against the party's darkness have fallen ill, vanished, or died in accidents. The system leaves fingerprints, but never confessions. The case of Yu Menglong has become more than a tragedy. It's a mirror that reflects the cruelty, fear, and silence that have ruled China for decades. For years, the party's machinery relied on labeling its victims, calling them traitors, dissidents, or criminals to justify their destruction. But Yu Menglong breaks that pattern. He was innocent. He was kind, talented, and beloved by everyone who met him. He wasn't political. He didn't fight the system. He simply represented the hope ordinary people still had, that goodness could survive in a corrupted world. And that's why his death hurt so deeply. It wasn't just the loss of a young man, it was the loss of an illusion, the belief that decency alone could protect you. He was the son every parent wished they had, the friend every man wanted by his side, and the kind of gentle soul women trusted without fear. When such a person is destroyed, something inside society dies with him. The collective empathy, the sense of right and wrong, it all collapses under the weight of injustice. That's why people can't look away. Because in Yu Menglong's story, they see their own reflection, their own pain, their own helplessness, their own longing for truth. Justice may be delayed, but it will never fail to arrive. To end tonight's episode, we'll play a song written by Yu Menglong's close friend, a new piece dedicated to him titled, Are You Listening?
当时的我们如此快乐，当时的你是那样温柔，每当亲密就抱着枕头，最后的讯息停留在等我，你在听吗？是不是累了？在哪里好吗？等我去啊！你在听吗？是不是累了？哪里好吗？等我去啊！回家的天空的蓝，我抬头看你，你在看我。昨晚的酒，我又喝得太多，少喝点吧你老对我说。在听吗？是不是累了？在哪里好吗？等我去啊！你在听吗？是不是累了？在哪里好吗？去啊！是不是累了？我想念了，对我再说一次，少喝点吧。